Hello, you're listening to Infinite Truth in Motion, episode 10. Today, I want to talk about contribution. And before anyone starts thinking, oh no, here comes the episode about changing the world. No, don't worry, I'm not carrying that kind of pressure at the moment either. I don't believe contribution begins with doing something extraordinary. I truly believe it begins in a way we meet another human being, for example. We've spent the last few episodes talking about rhythm, attention, trust, receiving, and all those quietly lead here. Because whatever is growing inside us eventually reaches beyond us. As within, so without. Whether we realize it or not, every conversation leaves something behind. Every interaction does the same thing. And sometimes that's encouragement. Sometimes it can show up as tension or relief or confusion. Sometimes it's simply the feeling that someone was really there for us. We rarely remember every word people said, but we do remember how they made us feel. This is something that we all know and we all experienced. And that to me is contribution. It's easy to think our greatest contribution has to be visible. For example, a successful business, a book, a podcast, a movement. Yes, those things matter. But they're not the only things that matter. Some of the most meaningful contributions never make headlines. And those are listening without interrupting, looking someone in the eyes when they're speaking, and saying to them, take your time, I'm here. Or checking in because you genuinely wanted to know how someone was doing. Or having a laugh together after a difficult week. Planting a tree. You may not ever sit under it, but you're contributing to something bigger. Picking up trash as you walk around on a path, on a trail. Making a meal for someone. Sharing ideas that help others see their own life a little differently. None of these moments seem enormous, yet they actually travel much further than we imagine. And I believe that's because human beings are constantly connected and they are affecting one another. And that's not only through words, that's through presence. Because have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt calmer because of one person being there? Or the opposite, right? More tense. Nothing bad happened yet, but you felt it. Our nervous systems are always communicating long before we start speaking and put words to what we're feeling. And a regulated person doesn't only experience more peace, they often bring more peace. Someone who has made room for honesty makes it easier for others to be honest too. Someone who has learned to listen invites other people to speak more truthfully. Or someone who has met their own fear with compassion usually offers more compassion when someone else is struggling. And we contribute much more than our actions. We contribute the way we live. And I believe that is important to remember. Because we live in a time that celebrates visibility. And let's just look at social media, right? Followers, numbers, recognition, big moments, and so on. But life isn't only built there. It is built in ordinary moments. In the conversations that no one else hears, the apology that never gets posted online, the encouragement that changes someone's day, the teacher who actually believes in a student, the neighbor who remembers your name, the stranger who smiles at you when you needed it most without them knowing. And we often underestimate these moments because they don't look impressive. For example, nature. Nature does it all the time. Forest isn't sustained by the tallest trees alone. The soil contributes, the rain contributes, the fungi beneath the ground contribute, the insect contribute, and nothing and no one asks who gets the credit. They support each other, they contribute, because life keeps supporting life. And that to me is the greatest lessons nature offers us. Contribution is not competition, it's participation. And the more time I spend in nature, the more I observe it and see this so beautifully. And there's another part to this that I've been thinking about. Sometimes the greatest thing we contribute isn't advice. It's actually permission. Permission for someone else to slow down, for someone else to just breathe for a few minutes and to say, I don't know, or to laugh or to cry or to change their mind, to be human. And that's why honesty matters so much. And it's not because we're supposed to tell everyone everything. Because honesty gives other people permission to stop pretending too. And that is contribution to showing up as we are. That is contribution for allowing ourselves and others to feel, to exist in the moment, here and now. I do not believe people fall in love with polished versions of ourselves, or that they stay because someone always says the right thing. I believe we're drawn to people who are real enough to stay present, who can say today is hard or today is beautiful without performing either one of those. So, isn't that what contribution really is? The life that we actually have and invite other people to have as well. A life through presence. And yes, there's something quietly funny about all of this. Because we spend so much time wondering if we're making a difference, while completely missing the difference we already made. And we are already making every moment. Someone may remember one conversation with us for years. You may not even remember having it, but they do. That is humbling, and it's also beautiful. So maybe this week, instead of asking, what can I achieve or accomplish as part of contribution, ask, what do people experience when they are interacting with me? Do they feel rushed? Do they feel heard? Or do they leave with a little more room to be themselves? Because every interaction leaves something behind. The question isn't whether we're contributing. The question is, what are we contributing? And that is part of infinite truth in motion. I'll talk to you soon.